Hello everyone, welcome to the Python class. My name is Okasha and I'll be the one to be taking you throughout this course, and hopefully with some of my colleagues jumping in to see one or two things or to take an entire class with me. I'm a staff in InnoSight Technologies, and it is InnoSight Technologies company that sponsored this class. So today is the first video of our series of Python for Everyone, which we are going to embark today. So I welcome every one of you to this class once more. Welcome to Python class for everyone. So wait, Python. When you hear Python, the first thing that comes to your mind, if you have not heard about anything about programming language, the first thing that will come to your mind is Python. Python, is it Python the snake? Should I get scared? Should I be afraid? Oh my god, no, it's not the Python snake. So if it's not the Python snake, then what exactly is this Python? Let's find out. So actually here you can see that Python is is or has. So that means Python is something, and Python is something that have some things. So basically here you can see that we said Python is a high-level programming language. Python is interpreted. Python is dynamically typed. Python is object-oriented. Python is general purpose. Python is open source. Python has extensive libraries. Python is platform independent. Python is has a large community, and Python is beginner friendly. So you start wondering, what is this Python that has a lot of characteristics like this? So I'll begin with, since I said this class is going to be for total beginners, even the people that have not even heard about programming before. So the first thing is that we said Python is a high-level programming language. So what is programming language? And basically, a programming language is a language that is used to speak to a computer, or is used to give instructions to a computer to execute for you. But what are these instructions? They are the commands you give to a computer for a computer to do something for you. For example, you want a computer to print something for you. You want a computer to store something for you. You want a computer to print out something for you. So those instructions that you give the computer in order for it to do it for you, because as a user, as a layman, you understand, as just a user of a computer, the only thing you are mostly conversant with is the buttons and the clicks that you used to do on the computer. But now you have transitioned from a normal user of the computer, since you are following us on this course. So when we said high-level programming language, this programming means the act of giving computer that instruction, and programming language is the language that you use to give that instruction. But wait, we know from our primary school that computer is very dumb. The only thing that the computer understands is zeros and ones. Then how come there's a language that is used to give computer instructions? Then this is where I'm going to enlighten this for you. Uh, this programming language that you see from this high level means a language that is closely looking like English, but it's not really the English we know, you understand? But it's just English like. It is used to what? To speak to the computers. But it speaks to the computers because if you can see the second characteristics, it said Python is interpreted. So saying Python is interpreted means Python is a language that when you use it to give computer instruction, it will be interpreted for the computer. That means the computer cannot directly understand the high-level programming language. That means computer cannot directly understand Python. What computer will do is when you write your program in Python, it's going to be what? Interpreted into what? Zeros and ones, which is the only language that the computer understands. So when we say high-level programming language, it means Python is easy to read and write. It is easy to read and write because it is what? English-like. We will come to see what the programming language is and how easy it is, and how easy it is to read and to write, because it will just be like the normal English words we are using for like print, and so many of the English words we have been used to. So the only thing is they have a different usage inside and outside of programming. The second characteristic is that Python is interpreted. So Python is interpreted means it executes code line by line without compilation. So for those that are familiar with other programming languages, you know that, like for example Java, what Java does is when you give it a particular code for it to instruct a computer to perform a particular task for you, it will take all the code, you understand, all the code at once, compile it into what the computer understands, which is zeros and ones, and then execute it. But Python doesn't do it that way. Python execute code line by line. It doesn't take all the code at the same time, then interpret it, then execute it. It's what? It takes it line by line. So that is why Python is called what? An interpreted language. And the third one is Python is dynamically typed. So for this, again, from those that are coming from Java background, you know that whenever you are declaring a variable, now somebody will start asking me what a variable is now. So let me clear that before I explain what dynamically typed is. A variable is typically just a memory space in the computer that you just store a value. You understand? So in languages like Java, whenever you want to store a particular value in a particular memory space, you have to specify, you have to explicitly explain to that memory space or to the computer that this is the kind of data I want to store in this particular place. For example, we want to store a sequence of characters, for example, names, or you want to store digits, for example, numbers like 5, 6, 7, and so on. So you have to explicitly specify to the computer that you want to store a value of such type. But in Python, Python is, as I've told you, very easy to read and write. So you don't really need to specify that you are storing a data of so type, because Python will be able to what? To recognize automatically that this is the data you are working with. So you don't explicitly need to explain to Python. Python will do that for you automatically. Then the next one, we said Python is object oriented. Python is object oriented. Object oriented, you might not be able to grasp the concept, because these are let me say, this is advanced Python term, but I'll try to explain it for you. Like object oriented is just a way of giving computer instruction in such a way that you create a blueprint, just like how they create blueprints whenever they want to manufacture anything. For example, the cars, the aeroplanes, the everything. Whenever the company wants to manufacture that particular thing, so the company is going to create a blueprint. Then from that blueprint, they are going to make the object, which is what? The aeroplane, the car, or the bicycle, or anything. So Python supports that. Python will give you, for example, you want to create a software that does a particular thing. Python will give you the power to create a blueprint. Then from that blueprint, you can create so many objects of that particular word blueprint. You might not understand everything, but it's okay. You'll be able to understand as we are going on. The fourth one is, or the fifth one rather, we said Python is general purpose. Python is general purpose. From the name general purpose, it means it can do everything. So Python can be used in the websites. When you Google www. When you enter the website, there are so many websites out there in the World Wide Web that are built with Python. Python can also be used for data science. It can also be used for automation, like in networking. It can also be used for artificial intelligence, for example, in developing things like ChatGPT. Yeah, you can use Python for it. So which are artificial intelligence systems. Then also Python is open source. Python is open source means Python is publicly released. You understand? Python programming language is not like, though it has people that develops it, but it's not only private to them. You understand? Even you now, you can just say, okay, I need to see how Python has been developed, and I need to see all the data of the Python programming language, and you'll be able to get access to it. So it's not restricted to anybody, and anybody can come and contribute to that particular programming language, and anybody can use it for free without paying anything. So if I want to use Python programming language, I don't need to pay a dime to anybody because it's open source and it's free. And also Python has extensive libraries. Libraries means like, for example, let me say a folder that contains codes that perform a particular kind of functionality. You understand? So Python has so many of them. There are, like, for example, now they say it includes NumPy. NumPy is like a library that is used for numerical analysis and calculation. For example, dealing with arrays, one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array, or multi-dimensional array, or changing a particular structure of data from one particular dimension to another particular dimension. So that's it. So NumPy, from NumPy, it means numerical Python. And we also have Pandas, which is also a library in Python, which is used for data manipulation. For example, Excel sheets, yes, like data frame or data sets that you can use to manipulate data, calculate the mean, the median, find the missing values, and all those things. So it is used for what? So that is why Python is also very good for what? People that are doing data analysis. So if you intend to be a data analyst in the future, then you are in the right place, because Python is going to help you to get it. And also Python has TensorFlow. This TensorFlow is also a library that is used to build artificial intelligence systems. So you see Python is everywhere. Python is in the web, Python is in the data science, in automation, in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and so many more, right? Also, Python is platform independence. Platform independence means it doesn't really depend on a particular platform. As far as PCs are concerned, we have Windows, which most systems are run, and we have Mac OS by Apple, and we have Linux. So Python runs on all these three distributions, right? You can decide to use Python on Windows, on Mac OS, or Linux. Python is platform independence. It doesn't matter where you run it. Python is going to work, and it's going to give you your desired output. It's going to give you your desired work. It's going to work the same way it's going to work in Windows. It's the same way it's going to work in all the other two. So Python is platform independence. Python also has large community. So because Python is open source, it has a large amount of people worldwide that are contributing to the language. So there's hardly any time in your life that you come across a problem in Python that you will not be able to get the solution, because there are so many people that are using the language, so many people that are contributing to the language. So whenever you have a problem, you will most likely get help from the internet or from people around you when it comes to Python. And last but not least, Python is what? Python is beginner friendly. Python is beginner friendly. Saying Python is beginner friendly means Python can be able to be easy for people that are just joining programming, because they can be able to learn Python very, very easy, because Python is the syntax of Python is easy to understand, easy to follow, and things you can do with other programming languages like 5 to 10 lines. In Python, it can just take you like 3 to 4 lines. So you see, it's very, very concise compared to other languages. So now you know what Python is, right? Hypothetically, I believe so. So now, how can you apply the knowledge of Python to real world after this course? So you are here to stay, right? You are here to stay in this course till we finish this course. So the knowledge you are going to get from this course, how will you apply it? So let's see some applications of Python. There are so many, so I just decided to take the top 10, the ones I know that they are very, very hot when it comes to Python. So the first one is AI ML, that is artificial intelligence and machine learning. Artificial intelligence and machine learning are everywhere now. People are creating intelligence systems, like, for example, ChatGPT and so many other artificial intelligence systems. Let's say machine learning. Machine learning is everywhere. It's in Netflix, It gives you the video recommendation that you are seeing. It's in Facebook. It's able to recognize sentiment. It's able to recognize this is a bad word, this is a good word, from which Facebook can ban a person. It is used in Twitter. It is used in so many applications. So machine learning is basically just a way of teaching machine to understand patterns in data so that that machine can be able to make decisions. Just like how human being, from your experience, that's why you see sometimes when companies are looking for workers, they'll say, okay, they need a person with 10 years of experience, because they believe your experience will determine your level of decision making. So likewise, the machine learning is just a way of training the computer with data, with past experiences, in such a way that that computer can be able to make decision on its own without human intervention. So uh, that is one of the areas where Python can be applied. We also have data visualization. This is mostly useful for people that are in statistics, people that deals a lot with data, finding patterns in data, making sense of data, so that they can make informed business decision. So if you want to dive into that particular field also, Python is the best for you to learn. After that, we also have data science, which is also a way of finding patterns and finding meanings in data. That is the data science. You understand? That's basically what they do. So when they find meaning and patterns in data, then they'll be able to create models, computer models that are able to perform decision making based on that particular insight it gets from a particular data that the data scientists have been able to extract. And the next one we have is scientific research. Python is the best language nowadays. Python is the best language for scientists, because if you check most of the journals that are being written nowadays, they are not using any other language except Python. So Python has been the lingua franca for all the scientists all over the world that are making scientific research. So they have adopted Python very well in such a way that Python is increasing day by day. So apart from that, we also have CAD, computer aided design. So even computer aided design, Python still have something to do in there. We also have web scrapers. Web scrapers are like systems that go into the web, you understand, find information and extract only the useful information. When you go to the web, there are so many information, but these web scrapers are able to understand from patterns that the creator of the web scraper is giving it. Okay, I want you to go into a website, get me all the emails from that website. I want you to go into the website, count how many verbs are there in that particular website, this kind of things. So you have to give that rule, and based on that rule, the web scraper will enter a website and try to find all the patterns you are giving it or you are asking it to extract from that particular website. We also have gaming. Python has a lot of libraries that are purposely designed for gaming, so you can use Python for game development. So if you are here learning Python with us in order to develop games, then you are also in the right place. Then Python can also be used for web development. It can be used for developing web apps, web applications. For example, the Facebook web app, right? You can create a web app for companies, web application, so that companies can be able to use it to extend their businesses. So Python is also good for web development, and also for graphical user interface applications. Graphical user interface is the graphics, the buttons, the touches, the scrolls, and things you see on the website or on the applications, you understand, that you are able to interact with. For example, a calculator app. A calculator app will have 1, 2, 3 times minus, all those buttons, you understand. So they are called, the face is called the graphical user interface. That means the graphics, the interface that the user is going to interact with. So Python is also good for that. And we also have, last but not least, the network automation. Python is also good for network, even cybersecurity. Even cybersecurity personnel, hackers, you understand, they prefer to use Python because of its simplicity and ease of learning, reading, and writing. So now, which apps are developed with Python around the world? Since we said, okay, this Python is popular, this Python can do this, can do that, Python is a general language, is a general purpose language. So do we have any popular application out there that have been developed with this particular programming language? Can you guess? Well, I'll help you. And you'll be surprised when I open it. Ta-da! So you see, these are some of the popular applications that we have out there. None of them is like something you will say, okay, you don't know. Pinterest, Instagram, almost all of us are using Instagram. Spotify, Discus, I think this one I don't even know it. But Dropbox, yeah, Uber, Reddit is even one of the places you are going to find answers to, things when you are having problem with Python, because they used to post a lot of, issues and their solutions there. Then Netflix, for those of us that used to, watch Netflix, Netflix was developed using Python. So that means Netflix is using Python a lot. The infrastructure of the app was built with Python, and also Netflix is using Python for what? For video recommendation, for clustering, and for many other intelligent things that are able to gain them more customers and gain them more audience. So now you know the application of Python. Then how do you make one yourself? That is one of the things when you hear cool things about Python, then you start saying, okay, so since Python is very powerful, then I think I need to have my own application too. Don't worry, you are going to have it, because we are going to take on this series until I'm sure that you can make something for yourself. So for you to make something for yourself, you need the following to start in Python. The first thing you need is the programming language, which by the grace of God, I'm going to inculcate into you guys. I'm going to break it down for you in a very easy manner, in such a way that you are going to understand everything. And when you do, or let me say along the way when you are doing, you need to install an interpreter. I told you before that interpreter is the bridge between the computer and the human being, because the human being is going to write instructions to the computer using programming language, which is the programming knowledge you are going to gain from this course. And that interpreter is going to take that programming code, the programming instructions you are writing to the computer, is going to take it, is going to interpret it for the computer in its own language, which is zeros and ones for the computers to understand. Then the computer will give you your desired output. But this interpreter now, then there comes another one we call IDE, Integrated Development Environment. So what is the difference between this interpreter and integrated development environment? Do we need both? Yeah, we need both, because the interpreter is just the machine. We cannot see it. It's just the machine that is doing the work on the ground. While the integrated development environment is a place, or let me say it's an app, you understand, that have a place for us to type our instruction. So we are going to type our instruction and we are going to see them. Then when we click a button, then it's going to send it to the interpreter. So the interpreter is the machine that is at the background of the IDE, such that when you write your code in the IDE, you send it to the interpreter, and the interpreter is going to translate it to the computer. Then the computer will understand the instruction you are trying to give it. So let's see how we can install the interpreter. Let's set everything up. I'll be with you in a jiffy. Let's verify if our machine is able to recognize that Python has been installed on it. So let's check. Let's close this window first. Hello guys, welcome back. Now I'm going to show you how you are going to download the Python interpreter, because I told you are going to be needing Python interpreter and an integrated development environment. So just head over to your Google Chrome and type in download Python. So the first result you are seeing here is the one that will download Python for you. So we just click it. So when you enter, it said download the latest version of Python. So the latest version of Python as at this time I'm making this video is 3.13, that's 3.13. so if you check here, you can see other versions too if you want to, but that one is the latest version. You can see 3.14, but this one is pre-release, so it's not out yet. So it will be out in I think maybe October. Yeah, here. So it's planned to be released in October. So if you just scroll down here, you can see the 3.13, which is the latest version. Just click on this download. So here it will take you to the page that you are going to select your operating system. So for my own is Windows, and Windows you should be careful. This one is 32-bit, this one is 64-bit. So please select the one that corresponds with your system's architecture. So my own is 64-bit, so I will click here. So once I click it, it's going to download. So it has downloaded. So if I check it here, it has downloaded, so I can open it in my folder. Then the only thing I will do here is what? To double click it. So once I double click it, so here is saying modify, setup, repair, or uninstall. This is because I already have this Python version on my system. So what I will do is I will uninstall it so that I will install it so that you guys can see how it works. So let me just uninstall it. So now the interpreter has been uninstalled successfully. So let me just close this and I will run the installation again. So this is the window you are going to see, install now, customize installation, but this is the one you are going to select, install now. So make sure you tick these two boxes. This one is to ask for admin privilege, and this one is to make Python available for your system, so that your machine will be able to know that Python has been installed on that particular machine. So the moment you tick these two, just come here and click on install now. Then let's wait for it to install so that we can continue. Now the installation is done. So what you have to do is just come here and search for CMD. When you search for CMD, then you click it. It will be opened. So once CMD opens, the only thing you can is you can type Python and just press enter. What? Come in. Yes, you can just type Python and press enter. So you see it's saying Python 3.13.2, which is the version we just installed. So if you don't want to see all these jargons, the only thing you want to see, so here is giving you the time you install it, everything, all the information about it. It's even saying okay, you should type help if you want to see some other things. But if I'm concerned with only the version of the Python that is on my system, I'll just say Python -- version. Okay. Saying name Python is not defined. Let's see what the problem is. Let's see. Okay, I have to exit from here. So when you press exit, then you see what Python, because initially when I said Python, it entered Python interpreter, so I have to come out of it. Then what? I will make that calling of version. So say Python -- version. So here is giving me the Python version that's currently on my machine. So that means if you are able to see this, then that means Python has been successfully installed on your system. And if not, then it means there's a problem. Then you can speak up so that we can fix it together. So now we've installed the interpreter, and I said we need two things apart from the knowledge of Python, which is interpreter and the IDE. So this interpreter that we installed by default, it used to come with IDE, which is a basic IDE that you can use to write your code. But if you feel that the functionality in the IDE is too basic for you, then you can decide to go for either PyCharm or Visual Studio Code, which we'll talk in the next class, inshallah. But for now, let me show you the IDE that the Python interpreter comes with. So just come to search and just type IDLE. So you should be able to see it here, right? This is the one I have for Python 3.10. This is the one I have for Python 3.12, and here is the one we installed because I have so many versions of Python on my system. So let me just run this one, the one we did install just now. So let me just double click it. So once you double click it, it's going to open. So you can close this window. So you see it has opened. It opened and it's showing you a cursor here, which means it is waiting for something to be typed. So let's write our first program. Our first program is, we want to give instruction to the computer to say hello to the whole world. So let's type our first program. So you make use of the keyword print. Alright, you click here, print, then you open a bracket, then you open a quote, right? Then you type in hello, hello world, then you close the quote, then you also close the parentheses. So what you are trying to say here is you are telling the computer to print whatsoever is in the middle of these two parentheses. So let's run it. If you want to run it, you just press enter. There's nothing much about it. The only thing you just need to do is just to press enter. So when you press enter, bing, that's it. So there you have your first programming code. Congratulations. So you can see that the instruction you give to the computer to print hello world for you, the computer has really obeyed you. It has print hello world for you. So that means computer is very obedient, right? Only if you give it what is supposed to be obedient. Let's say, for example, we did this print without the bracket, without the parentheses. Let's see if computer is going to obey us. Print hello world, then we run it. So it's saying syntax error. It is missing parentheses and call to print. Do you understand? Did you mean print something in the parentheses? That means without that parenthesis, the sentence will not make complete sense to Python, and Python interpreter will not be able to execute our instruction. So that means just like how every other language has their rules, programming language also have its rules. If you violate the rules, then you are not going to get your exact output. But if you write a program that conforms exactly with the rules of Python, then you will see your message, or you will see the outcome of your task, just like how we see it here, right? It prints hello world for us. So thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next class.